Thank God you've returned. I need your help. For reasons you'll discover, I can't send you to Riven with a way out.
Okay.
Yep, trapdoor. We go through. So where we left off is we turned all these lights on, right? And then it led to this dead end, but then we started turning lights on, and then there was like more lights and more lights and more lights and more lights. And I got to this point and I was like, oh shit, a door. So we opened, oh shit, a door. And then we found this. Which I originally deemed a... I originally deemed it a speak and... a see and say. I really... Everything in me wants to call it a speak and spell, which is a completely different device. But that's the one I actually used a lot more. That kind of looks like the fish. And that would be 5, so that would be the last one. So there's a bunch of animals depicted on these. What the hell is that even? That'll be second. That's definitely the scarab. That also looks like Fight Seal. Was that the same one I clicked before? That's like a seahorse with a butcher knife. Oh, I see. When you click on the one on the edge, it actually rotates you. Oh, that was confusing the hell out of me. I'm trying to think like what are animals that I've seen. Tonberry seahorse. This is the one where I was like, I'm not sure if that's a frog or a helicopter. At this point, I'm just like, which of these animals have I potentially seen before? That's definitely the arrowfish. Screw it, let's start with that. We'll go arrowfish, scarab. Now, I'm pretty sure I know what the last two are. Whoops. Did that undo? No, it did not. That symbol looks like the water fill in the village. You turn the water thing on, you turn the little spigot on, the water runs, it fills the platform a little ways up, it makes a shape that looks like that. But the orb there is the scarab buzz. So if they want me to go on shape and not sound, then that kind of screws up my whole premise here. Trying to look through these and figure out, like, I don't think I've seen... This is the fish that makes the whale sound. This is the fight seal. That's 4 and 5. I'm like 100% sure. The other one makes that like squeak click sound. It's helicopter frog. That's the point of that stupid puzzle. It's not to catch the frog, it's to see the frog and hear the sound that it makes. Now I'm feeling about 5% on one. I'm feeling like 50, probably 50% on 2. And I'm feeling about 100% on 3, 4, and 5 at this point. When you asked, I was feeling 0% on 3. Bruh? Oh, that is so generous! Oh, wow! Oh, they don't let you undo the ones that are right. Oh, that's dope as hell. Oh, so you absolutely could brute force the hell out of this and it wouldn't even be that hard. No, you can't brute force it. Then why can't I pull the first 2 up? Oh, I thought I did a good, but it actually... That's minorly upsetting. All right. We'll stick with that first. I'm gonna stick with the scarab-looking thing second. Okay, now you can totally undo it. I'm gonna test this theory. Okay. Alright, hopefully if I pull it back up, that still counts from, like, 1. Okay, fish. Bug. Weird Metroid blob. Fight seal. Whalefish. Shit. Helicopter. All right, so I'm relatively certain that the sticking point is the first one. Because I saw a symbol that looked like this, but it had no real relation. It had no real relation to any of the orbs or anything like that, other than it being close to the water. Okay. From the top, how did we get here? I know numbers and colors. I know that there are spinny orbs throughout the world that have a number on the back of them, and they make an animal sound. I have just learned that those animal sounds correspond to some of the animals that I can see in the world. Like the weird fight, I call them the fight seals, the ones on the rock that, they're not actually fighting, but I always run down there really fast and they end up running away, so one of them slips off the rock and it looks like the other one knocks it down. But then I saw that they just lay on each other, so they're not actually fighting. But I'm still calling them fight seals because I like it. So there's 5 of those orbs. I spin them, they have a color on the back, and they make a sound. The sound corresponds to an animal. So I see this room, and the solution that makes sense to me is all of that comes together. The 1 through 5 on the back of the orb is in order. The sound corresponds to the animal that is on the slate that you need to push in that order: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have pretty definitively identified what the sounds are and what animals they correspond to on 3, 4, and 5. I'm pretty sure about 2. I'm pretty confident about 2 because it's clearly, the sound it makes is clearly the scarab buzz. So this is the thing that looks like that bug. They also have those in that one little room with all the lore images. Why do I think the fish I saw through the telescope was 1? That is the thing I'm least convinced of. I found the orb in the I found the orb in that lab area, but it wasn't connected, so it didn't make a real sound. So I don't have an animal sound that I can relate to it. But I went to the, sort of underwater viewing room. I read a note next to it that said that he found it in the water. So I'm thinking, okay, it needs to be something near the water. And then I went to the underwater viewing room where you see the whalefish thing. and do some color stuff. And I saw that symbol and I was like, well, that symbol corresponds to one of the things on the panel. So maybe that's a thing. So I just plugged it in. Because other than that, I don't know what the first one is. So it was one of those things where, like, it doesn't really plug into the theory, but it's the best guess that I have. Because the symbol was there, and the symbol is also here, and it's technically close to the water. I'm not convinced. The second one really messes with me. Because the second one shows me I get a clear sound, which is the sound of the scarab, the golden scarab flying around. But I also have a very clear image that looks like this. So the question running through my mind now is it one or the other? Or are there two different solutions to this puzzle, one for sounds and one for shapes? Looks like it, I mean, I thought that this looked more like a scarab. But we could run the same solution using this thing as the scarab. And like I'm assuming this is frog. I know that it's the dart frog in the trap. I don't know if that's the symbol that necessarily corresponds. Oh, okay. Oh, I was this close to walking away and being like, I don't have enough information for this yet. Yo, that's cool as hell. Yo, for real, this game has an art style and it just executes on it. Okay. We got a weird orange tree. Oh, we're right, because that's how linking books work. We just exist here now. Well, that could have gone better. How does this game handle saving? Completely manual. Why? Does that matter right about now? Should I have done it, like, right before that? It's honestly fine. I've been playing for like an hour and a half, but the only thing we've actually done that's hard progress is that just now. Everything up to that point was just like information gathering and synthesizing. Oh, for those who are just joining, here are my save games. Oh, there does appear to be an autosave, but who knows when it actually triggers. Maybe on screen, like on area transitions. Yeah, those are all the file names. I have a bowl. So, like, there are... If there's one thing that I've not... If there's one thing I've not really sensed from this game, in the time that I've been playing it, it's definitely... danger. But now everyone's like, you should probably save right now. And I'm like... I was like, why? Can I screw this up? What could possibly go wrong? So now y'all got me jumpy. Oh. There are different endings. Oh, I hadn't even considered that.
Katrina e now da saya palo.
Uh-huh.
Yapa ay manay yelepo. Miotisay. Bekaretere wira pe yelo kene falapo. Tisay. Why te fulupe?
Is this an art language or is this a real language? It sounds vaguely native. I say that as someone who is not versed in Native American languages. That's kind of like the sound of it just reminds me of that. Oh, we have, oh, wait, what? Wait, whoa. I mean, it's Myst. Tell her that doesn't mean anything to me. I don't know if Myst uses art languages. Oh, that's super cool, actually. Used a bit of her own language. That's cool. I like that. I honestly, I love the use of art languages in games. The soundtrack to Nier is like, mwah. Just hearing Emmy Evans sing in languages that sound like familiar and yet foreign, and, you know, it's supposed to be this language that is a mix of 7 or 8 different languages, but like in a far-flung future, or that all grew together. It's so cool. So cool. Okay. The Denis. I've heard of the Denis. I read a whole thing about them yesterday. And by yesterday, I mean last Friday. But, yeah. I linked to Riven a week ago. This... Is this in English? Is this a situation where, like, one of the people here was like, hey, you're a stranger like the person who wrote this, and maybe you can read this, because we can't read it, because it's not our language. Alright. The smell of the place overwhelmed me moments before I could see anything. With my sight only partially cleared... This text is hard to read. I stood motionless, peering ahead through a dim veil, which was slowly lifting. There was a violent clang, and bars appeared. I remember breathing slowly and very deeply, testing the familiar Riven air, but not recognizing a thing. I must have been hit with the dart right away. I thought it was an insect bite at first. Trying to remember it all, but it's difficult, maybe because of the drug. There was a voice. A man I did not recognize stood before me. Rivenese, though he was wearing... it looks like Oni, but I'm going to assume it probably says Denis dress. He seemed to be talking to me, but the poison was already taking effect. A shadow crept in and I fell asleep. Then there were the many voices, but I understood none of them. Like hundreds of people whispering, I couldn't wake up. Can't wake up. Wake me up inside. No matter, the dream did end, and now, to be here with... That's probably a name. Oh, thanks, Cooper Fox. Etty. It's been so many years, I didn't realize... Oh, hey. I didn't realize how much I missed her. Like a piece of me I had forgotten... I'd forgotten I'd lost. She's beautiful and so full of warmth. But the years have also left her with a wound which was not there when we were children. I do wish she were more interested. It's like I'm asking all the questions. I write quickly from my prison. Nilak will return your book, which the... Oh, right, the Moisty! The Moisty. The Moisty intercepted upon your arrival. After questioning her, I've concluded that it was written by... Oh, God, I remember this from last time. Nella. Oh, yeah, I read that as a K instead of an H. Atris. For a very specific purpose. Gen will desire to use it, although he may have suspicions. If you can find my prison, you will still need the combination to release me. Gen keeps it in his office. Then I assume we're... What? Then I assume we're to signal... Okay. We're to signal Atris. I think I know how it might be done, but don't signal him before I am released. Okay. We're to signal. I get it. Thank you. Where did I leave off? I'm asking all the questions. It's awkward. No one asked me where I've been, what I've been doing. This hurts, but I understand it. Their beliefs are born out of ignorance and oppression. They are a gentle people. They've had their nest destroyed and now frantically cling to anything that might save them. Why have they chosen to cling to me? I'm confused. As a child, I always felt out of place here. I never belonged. They misunderstood me, and I couldn't relate to them. But now I'm overwhelmed by an intense feeling that I owe everything to them in this place. I thought I would never see them again, and yet I'm here. I've been given this second chance. But a second chance at what? Saving them? Fulfilling their prophecies? Being their savior? Doodle? Chat, straight up, do I need to save this doodle? I will screenshot it if I need to, but I don't want to if I don't have to. No, don't need it. Okay. Thank you. The moisty. I know that's not what it is. I have designs on what else it could be. I don't want to know. It's the moisty. Atlas would want me... Oh, the rest of this is just lore. Okay. I don't mind reading it. Close it. No, it's fine. I don't mind. When I say I don't know and I don't want to know, I am almost always joking. Learning is good. Actors would want me to chronicle all that I've learned. I can at least record some of it. It seems that when Atris and I trapped Gen... I'm going to go with Gen. On Riven many years ago, our efforts were witnessed by most of the inhabitants here. 2 of the Rivenese even witnessed the confrontation with Gen at the fissure, where I linked back to Myst, and where Atris threw himself into the abyss. Of course, they understood little of what they were seeing, but they somehow were able to guess that we had won. That Gen was no god at all, but only a feeble imposter, a false god, that we had trapped him in here. We trapped him here on Riven. Maybe like moiety. Moiety. I'm sticking with moisty. Not because I think it's right, but because I think it's fun. I always hoped they would deduce this simple truth, but their further conclusions have astonished me. Atris had stripped Gen of his power, therefore Atris must be a true god. As a god, he was choosing me, the spiritual misfit from a Rivenese womb, to be his wife. I was transcending into deity and would lord over Riven forever. That's a lot of leaps. Thus, the Moisty, as they call themselves, were born a dissident society, sworn enemies of Gen. Oops, I accidentally a god. I never asked for this anointment. I do not know of their beliefs regarding Atris and myself until 2 days ago. Etty was, for some reason, hesitant to tell me. I can't figure out why. I know she doesn't believe these things. Of course, everyone else assumed that I would be aware of my own god status, so they made no effort to inform me. I only realized it as at a recent gathering to which I was invited. I sat at the front. Did they do a ritual sacrifice? Did they do a ritual sacrifice in front of you? I sat at the front of a dimly lit and crowded cave as they told a mythical story of my own life, acting out the battle between Atris, myself, and Gen at the edge of the fissure. The events have been exaggerated into grandiose proportions. It was offensive, but I was unable to stop it. I was unable to break the illusion, which is the very foundation of their hope and purpose, and which has given them courage to band together and rebel against Gen. Since then, I've learned of other doctrines and beliefs that have evolved, the most disturbing of which is the conclusion that one day I would return to Riven to face them. Some believe that I will overthrow Gen, others believe that I will bring them to paradise. If I don't know how to deal with this, I fight it myself. Is that crossed out? I fight myself, or I fight it myself, and there's just a mark there. It works out the same either way. I love these people, my only real kindred, but they will not love me as an equal, which hurts me. I would neither be their slave. I would rather be their slave than their master. Took me a minute. Over the years, as Gen's power has become greater and greater, the Moisty's numbers have grown. And they have become more and more adept at hiding themselves. They now live in a complex network of caves that he still has not discovered. The Moisty, for the most part, have completely severed their relationship with any of the Rivenese that chose against joining them. But I hope they've not sacrificed vital limbs in order to remove the cancer. Oh, that's a metaphor. Even Father and Grant? Grant doesn't seem like a name that would be in this world. But I don't know how else to read. Well, I guess that's a G. Errant? That person are still on the surface in Gen's domains. And I long to see them, but a dimness shrouds at his face. Eddie's face. Every time I mention them. Since this break took place, they have interfered with the surface in superficial ways, occasionally sabotaging one of Gen's constructions or stealing food from the villagers. They wear strange masks and costumes during their short forays to the island's surface and take this regalia. I thought that's where it was going, but I didn't see the A. Regalia very seriously, refusing to be seen by anyone outside the Moisty unless they are properly attired. They get much pleasure out of the feat. Get much pleasure out of the feat. That those on the surface are frightened at these costumes, calling them evil spirits or ghosts. It was during one of these expeditions that they fortuitously rescued me from one of Gen's guards when I first appeared on the island. Otherwise, I'm sure I would have been delivered to Gen immediately. I've no doubt that he's now searching for me. Of course, I am now aware that I was fooled. Atris is not here. I was at first devastated by this realization. Now I am thankful. He would be in extreme peril here. Also, there is a quiet inner voice, an echoing remnant that wants him far away. I've just witnessed an age dying, gasping its last breath. Today I venture to the surface to see what has become of this island. I hoped it would not be as bad as the Moisty had reported. It was worse. They have become slowly accustomed to its steady decay, but I was devastated. Ninja Coder, hello! I am glad that you exist, and I'm glad that you choose to lurk. I mean, I'm fine if you don't lurk. I'm just saying, like, that is a valid way of, from the shadows is a valid method of enjoying the stream, and I'm glad that you do. So, this is kind of like the road to El Dorado, in a way, in which you kind of just show up and everyone's like, oh man, it's a god, let's go. Only, like, this person is kind of sad about it and not looking to take advantage of it. The lips from which the kiss is wrought has fallen words? Will fall cold breath. I don't think that's fall. The wound from which this cry released has suffered hurt, will suffer death. Oh, okay, I did actually read that right. It's just, it didn't make sense, but that's just because it's poetic. To get to the surface, we had to travel through a complex series of doors and passages. Before the last of these doors, they offered me a weapon, which I accepted, and then a mask. I held the mask in my hands for a while, wondering what sort of terror it might invoke in those members of my family who still live on the surface. But I also knew I must keep my identity hidden from Gen's ever-vigilant eye, so I accepted it. Okay. I was reading these, but there's a period there that's very small. So I was reading it as like, so I accepted it as well then. I accepted it as well. Then together we swam a short expanse and emerged out of the surface of the ocean under a rocky overhang. The harsh sunlight made my eyes sting, but the fresh, rich air was exhilarating after these past weeks in the dank caves. The two men with me were silent, communicating only with hand signals. The three of us emerged from our hiding place and made our way to the top of the plateau. The edge of a thick and overgrown area of the forest, they stopped, peered through the foliage for a moment, and then turned to me as if awaiting my command. But could not respond. I could not respond? In fact, I found it difficult to move. I was smelling, hearing, and breathing my youth. They swept over me in a matter of seconds, but in seconds more, all feeling was gone. There was numbness. We did not stay long on the surface, but it was long enough to see the worst. Riven, which was once one island, has split apart into 5 distinct pieces, about a half a mile apart. 4 of these have been claimed by Gen and his exclusive domain. Only his ministers and personal militia are ever allowed access to them. From my vantage point, at the edge of the forest, I could see 3 of these islands. They are stripped of their former beauty and are riddled with Gen's self-absorbed constructions. The Moisty mostly visit these closely guarded places. Rarely visit these closely guarded places. There's another island which I did not realize this was going to be this long. There was another island which I could not see, as it had evidently crept away to a terrific distance. The Moisty are very unclear as to what exists on this island, except for the fact that they know it is where the great tree used to exist. Entry 2 of 9. Jeez. The forest is located on the island that the surface dwellers and the Moisty still refer to as Riven, though they also still refer to their entire world as Riven. This island is where the village is, which has changed dramatically. It is also the one remaining province of the people, though Gen's influence can be seen everywhere. Of course, I know the reason for the fracturing of the island. The Moisty do not. Gen wrote this place, and it will die as all of Gen's ages eventually die. I feel nothing today. I am nothing. I live in a cave on a dying world inhabited by people that... They're treating me so strangely. They're treating me so strangely. They don't know how to react to relate to a god. I'm still an outcast here. They whisper amongst themselves, talking of my bravery during my excursion to the surface. How I walked across the island, bold and unafraid. They don't know me. Even Etty is uncomfortable around me. At times there is no awkwardness, and I'm only Catherine. Oh, like Catherine. But Katrin, because language. That's fun. But at other times, I'm something else. I am afraid. There's such a giant? Great numbness inside me. Today I do not feel closeness with my people. Neither am I offended by their worship of me. I do not hate Gen. I don't feel anything. I'm not even sure of struck through. At least Nella is still close. I'm boiling. I am... Ooh, boy. This is not going well. Gaunt. That's the better word. Gen is making and writing books. I wish they had told me sooner. Atris should have realized this would happen, of course. Gen would have written all the materials necessary to the Denis craft of making books into this 8. Oh, right. Because you write the world, so he's writing in that this world has the materials that he needs to make more books. Yeah, that makes sense. That, like, in plain text, it didn't make sense, but, like, context. All right, Gen would have written all of the materials necessary to the Denis craft of making books into this age, and probably every other age he ever wrote. He is attempting to write his way out of here. We did not imprison him. We only delayed him. This age has become his factory, and the people are his machines, all laboring in his mad pursuit to become a god. To carry on his carry on his noble Denis cause. So far, he has not been able to produce a fully functional book. Atris has never believed in destiny, though I don't know what else to call it. It's too perfect. It's too much of a coincidence. They hang on my every word, though they do not understand them. I am their hope, and now I have returned. I owe this to them. There is no choice. That looks like a grabby hand. It's been a long time since my last entry. Oh, I know what that is. That's the little pod thing that's next to where I started the game. It's hard to recognize, but I found the star fissure. It's located on the island, which the Rivenese call Alapo, meaning water pool. which is referred to by the Moisty as I don't know, meaning pool of stars. Having once allowed Atris to escape the stage without leaving an open door behind us, it has since been sealed with a skin of heavy iron. A crude telescope has been mounted over a locked viewpoint, the combination to which was acquired by the Moisty before my arrival. Numbers! Four 41122. Stop. In the early days, the Moisty, seeking an escape from Riven, briefly pursued the idea of reopening the fissure. They discovered a small mechanical stop to prevent the scope from hitting the portal window. Ultimately, however, they decided against opening it. I hate to think what would have happened to them if they had not left it alone. I've instructed them to stay away from it. I'm almost certain that with the decayed state of the islands, opening the fissure now would be disastrous. Oh, fun! So that code's actually randomized and not consistent. So that means you actually have to read through all of this to see it. I suppose you could just skip through, but you at least have to flip through the pages to get there. I hate to think... Oh, wait. Did I skip a page? Discovered a small mechanical stop to prevent the scope from hitting the portal window. Ultimately, they decided again. Oh, yeah, okay. Would be disastrous. I've heard that in the days immediately follow Gen's confinement on Riven, he attempted to determine the feasibility of navigating the stars beneath the fissure, for he had seen the Myst book fall from Atris' hands in that very same space. To this end, he would have people, alleged transgressors of the law, thrown into it so that he could observe their fate. Wow, that's rough. The telescope which still stands there is one he had built for these callous experiments. I wonder if that's whose book I was reading. The note that was talking about seeing the telescope in the water. Or maybe it's something else. It said they did not die, but what became of them remains a mystery. It appears that the limits of Gen's optics prevented him from learning their fate. The starfield beneath the fissure is not as it seems. It is a gentle space, as hospitable to life as a flowing river. This is how Atris explained it after he had fallen into it. But much more than that, we've never understood. And we were never able to conclude upon its origins. But the visions tell me that it was born out of the will of the Maker? Perhaps for some greater purpose that we cannot yet understand. I still remember Atris' words from his journal. I realized the moment I fell into the fissure that the book would not be destroyed as I had penned. It continued falling into that starry expanse. There must be some greater reason behind it. I neglected to mention it earlier. The unique shape of one of the great daggers I'm thinking daggers. Which appeared during our escape from Riven, the very design that stands vertically at one end of the star thing, has been adopted by the Moisty as the symbol of their cause. It is a sacred symbol for them. It is the representation of all of their doctrine, the representation of me. To deface this symbol is sacrilege. They have their own mythical explanation regarding its sudden origins. I haven't told them that I wrote it into this age, along with all the other daggers. It's strange how such a young religion can be so unbending, even to their own god. I've tried to dissuade them of the notion that symbols contain so much power. The enemy uses this No, I got nothing on this one. Paranoia? Yeah, I guess I can see it. That doesn't look like an N. I can kind of see it, but I wouldn't have got there. Enemy uses this paranoia against them. They are fearful of Gen's symbol and terrorized by his symbolic use of the work. Oh, yeah, no, I did read that right. But they don't want to hear this from me. Perhaps my attempts have even caused some of the younger members of the Moisty to doubt that I am Catherine. Any more encounters with those who say they follow Gen have been discouraging. My rare encounters with those who say they follow Gen have been discouraging. I hope to have some communication with the surface villagers, but they always flee from me. But I've heard news of some of the villagers' beliefs regarding Gen. Soon after we trapped Gen on Riven, he claimed that he was responsible for the daggers, placing them around the island as a reminder of their failure. In the village circles, it is told that this was a punitive act performed by Gen to mark the beginning of a period of restitution, at the end of which, if they have proven their devotion to him, they will be delivered unto a new and better existence. I will continue to try to reach them. The door is open. Is Gen is face? Am I reading that right? Gen has the ability to create working books. In fact, he has written one age before I arrived. Gen is free. He has the ability to create working books. In fact, he had written one age before I arrived, and he has kept this accomplishment so well hidden that only his closest ministers were aware until now. I'm not sure. Perhaps he has written others. Other news. A few years ago, before the Moisty was forced into hiding, one of them managed to steal what appeared to be a test book that Gen had intended to destroy. It had been partially written, but did not work. They didn't tell me about it until now because they thought it was useless. Back then, more of Gen's books worked. None of Gen's books worked. But instead of correcting the problem at its source, he blamed it on the impure wood of the Riven forest and proceeded to engineer a cumbersome mechanical remedy, a complex series of domes to heal his book's inherent flaws. One of the consequences of this crude solution, however, was that the domes demanded huge amounts of energy, and the related problems delayed his success for quite some time. At last, however, he finished his work and was finally able to link to an age. But he kept his success extremely well hidden. However, for some reason or another, belligerent pride, he has made modifications to the dome which make it obvious that he's using the domes to breathe life into his half-dead books. Perhaps he means to lure us into using the books in the domes. He can't believe that we would blindly swallow this suicidal act. But he wouldn't know that we have one of his books, the stolen burnt book. Oh yeah, I found that one. There's a possibility of... never mind. Have read burnt book. Age it describes would be unsuitable as new home for the moisty. Must be modified. I will dream. Have requested a group to solve combination that will open the domes. Once open, we can power the burnt book. I do not think Gen will interfere. He will leave the bait. Have began writing the Moisty's age, now must acquire second book from Gen. There is tension. A strain blurs my vision. And nightmares. Nella and Etty stay close. It continues. Much has happened. Almost everything is prepared. We've stolen another book, but I'm concerned Gen will miss it. We've also discovered the combinations for entering the domes, but we have not discovered the method for powering them. By powering our burnt book with Gen's domes, we will be able to link to this age, but we will only have access to the domes for a short of time before we are discovered. Therefore, we can only use the domes once. I must find another way to make the books work. The gateway images in Gen's books and our burnt book all seem to share the same sickness. They are not powered. The images are blank. Black. Might be possible to use to clear the vision with only question mark. We'll write substance into the moisty age. All is ready. Now all we can do is wait for word from the Moistian-esque. That's what I got there. Who are on the lookout for Gen to power and use the domes. When he does that, he will have access to one of Gen's domes just long enough. After linking to the age, which I've written, I only have to locate the book. Window substance and refine or adapt it. Okay. Laying this window over the gateway image should keep the books... should heal the books and make them work. This will allow me to use the second stolen book and return to Riven with more of the book windows. We will then no longer have to rely on Gen's clumsy domes. I laugh at these plans. I sound like Atris. I'm risking my life, but I feel no fear, only anxiety. Perhaps it is the source of my nightmares. The fissure, like a great wound, is opened. It stains the riven soil with blood. I hold the moisty knife. The Roy. Don't got that one. Voices. I could not stop reading that as an R. Voices grow so loud. For their part, the Moisty have complete faith that I will accomplish my task and lead them to a better world. It is the fulfillment of their prophecy. They are also fearful and tense. I don't know what they will think or do if I fail. It is done. It seems too good to be true. I feel like it's all still a dream. We've already evacuated all of the moisty to this new age. The book windows we will then... No. Oh, I scrolled back. It is beautiful and I am pleased. At last my people will live in safety and comfort. They stand under the bare sky, unafraid, and dazzled by their freedom. They are happy. They have named it... Toy? Tay. There's still much to be done. We are not protected yet. The only way to completely safeguard this place is to destroy the book which links to here from Riven. But I do not even know how to bring this up to the moisty. They will be extremely reluctant after destroying their only link to Riven. I share this hesitation. I would be cutting off my only connection. But for their sake, it must be done. I am anxious to know if our activities have roused Gen's suspicions. If so, we must act quickly. Even so, I feel that now we are impregnable. Tomorrow I will return to Riven to see Gen's reaction for myself. But tonight I finally rest. For now, I finally rest.